what's been happening here in the province? Right, we haven't been out yesterday. Today we haven't been out, so that's driving me a little bit crazy, in all the time. Not a lot of things to do actually, no budget, simple as that really. So, 2 days in the house. Yeah, I've been for a little walk around the province, not far, not very far, just into the mangoes. Got a few mangoes, had a little walk around, done a few videos. I was actually hoping to upload 2 videos today, might be free, and we didn't go to Mercy, but I knew yesterday we wasn't going to Mercy because we don't have the budget. Set off to Mercy 2 days ago, and what happened was, I might have mentioned it, going very, very slow, and the chain just come straight off. Thought, my God. And I looked at the chain, put it back on, pushed the bike backwards, put the chain back on, but it's had it, and I still haven't got the tools to do it. So, since I haven't got the tools, I haven't got the budget, simple as that, but I need to get it sorted. Sooner or later I'll actually get it sorted. One joining us, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Right, so that's basically it, guys. And today basically the same. I've had a little walk out to the mangoes, got a few mangoes, same as I did yesterday, but I actually had a walk yesterday. I had to walk over to the bitter fruit farm. So that's what I did. I just thought, well, I think what I'll do is have a walk over and see what's happening at the bitter fruit farm. And, I made a video yesterday. But, I did actually get a message sent. I'll delete the message probably tonight. What happened was, I might have mentioned this a little bit, but I thought, I'm going to go into more depth. Now, dangerous dogs. Right, I'll just give you a quick, recap. A friend of mine, Facebook friend, YouTube, absolutely nice lady, from my neck of the woods in England, so to speak, give a good few miles now, What happened was, she took a dog out, so she'd gone for a walk with a dog, and an American bull, right, so an American bulldog has attacked her dog, and it's actually killed her dog, extra large American bulldog. It seems to me like we're doing a lot of videos on dogs, but that's just how dangerous dogs are. This is not here in the Philippines. This is in the UK. This is in UK, England. So the lady, she's taking a pet dog for a walk. As far as I'm aware, the guy that owns the American bull, he's left his door open, so it's come running out, and it's mauled, and it's actually killed the lady's dog. And in the struggle, the lady's hurt her shoulder, and she's in. If it's Wednesday there, she has to have an operation, so she has to have surgery. And this is for stupid dogs, stupid dog owners in England, not the Philippines, England. Right, so in England, many years ago, I've made a video on this, but I haven't uploaded the video, so if you watch the video, it'll be similar. Right, so it's up to you whether you watch the videos or not. So, in England, many, but like I said, the lady's gone to hospital, she's having surgery, so it's really bad, big silly American bulldog, wow, ferocious things, strong, powerful things. Them American bulldogs are really powerful. They can be very unpredictable, because I know somebody what's had one, from being a pup, it had a bad owner, but I'll chat about that anyway, so I'll chat about it later. So what happened, guys, not 20, 40 years ago in England, right? There actually was, if I've got this correctly, there's a big spider running across the floor as big as my hand. Right, and that's funny because we don't see that many big spiders here, not in the house. Lee, redback spider, black widow. So what happened was, guys, I'll answer a quick comment as well. Do I think it's worth retiring here in the Philippines? If you've got a budget, yes, you know, if you've got a budget, it's worth retiring. If you've got a lady here and you're from Scotland, definitely worth retiring. If you come here, you know, you go home, you work, then you're back here, go home, then you work. Yeah, you know, you can retire here. You can always go back to England, Scotland, and come back to the Philippines, you know. It's your choice, but, you know, obviously if you have a lady here, you've been here a few times before, so yeah, it's worth retiring. So if you're from Scotland, enjoy the Philippines. But, you know, if you're going to retire here, guys, you know, this is to a comment, so I'm replying to a comment. If you're from Scotland, wherever you are in the world, pick a very good island. An island where you will not be bored. Right, back to these dogs. When I was actually a kid, a boy, a lad, when I was a kid, you know, I love dogs. You know, I love. You know, pit bulls and that weren't really about. You know, there were no pit, but it were like Alsatians, Rottweilers, you know, that type of thing. And if you saw a Rottweiler when I was a kid, you were very lucky. And the only people that normally had Rottweilers were people with big houses or actually gamekeepers, you know, they'd have the guns. Only guys I actually saw with Rottweilers, gamekeepers, because as you know, I used to be a poacher many years ago, when I was a lad, when I was a kid, right, when I was a boy. So, you know, when you did see a Rottweiler, you didn't know it was a Rottweiler, because you never knew what kind of dog it was, you just know it was a big, nasty looking type of a guard dog. Right, anyway, you know, so I like lurchers, whips, Russell's Terriers, any dog were good for habiting. But when I first saw a Rottweiler, I thought, wow, that's a big dog. You know, I actually like the look of the dog. You know, and then a good few years after, popular. But what happened was in England, you know, I think there were a few pit bulls around, you know, and dog law. You'd open the door, you'd let your dog onto the street. There were dogs all over the streets. Not so much traffic, but the traffic got better and busier. And then there was a law, and it came out, you can let your dogs onto the street. Banned dog. Pit bulls were banned in England, so it were illegal to have pit bulls, right? They were banned. Everyone were fighting the pit bulls, fighting to the death. So, banned dog, so I looked in, 20 stone. So this banned dog, it was 20 stone, and it cost 10,000 English pounds, which, wow, that's what, equivalent to what, 100 grand today? Not joking. And this banned dog, there was one lady who had a banned dog. This dog got banned straight away. One lady in London that had the banned dog, right, according to the newspaper and the news. This is in England, this is not in the Philippines, guys, this is in the UK, England. 20 stone this dog weighed. And as I remember, it was a Neapolitan Mastiff, excuse me, crossed with an English Mastiff. But I know for a fact it was an English Mastiff. But I could be wrong on the, no sorry, I know for a fact it was a Neapolitan Mastiff. Neapol, Italy. Italian Mastiff, Neapolitan Mastiff, crossed with an English Mastiff. 20 stone, absolutely huge dog, right. But I'm not sure if it was actually the English Mastiff, what they were crossing with the Neapolitan Mastiff, Italian Mastiff. You know, you have to make a comment. But actually, you know, these dogs were absolutely ginormous. Could kill a man in seconds, minutes. Right, kill a man easy. And they banned this dog straight away, but I think there were two people. One was a lady in London, one was a gentleman in London. I know for a fact it were a lady, according to the newspaper. Right, this was the Barnsley Chronicle, as I remember, Barnsley Chronicle. So this dog, and I saw it on the news, banned dog, very, very dangerous. But you know, guys, over the years, pit bulls were banned, they're illegal in England, but you know, they're all over England. Lots of people in England have got pit bull terriers. A lot use the pit bull terrier to fight. Right, it's down to money, gambling. Sorry, I have got a sore throat. Not a lot I can do about it. Right, so you know, that's it. Pit bulls used for fighting in the UK, you know, banned. But there's Barnsley's full of pit bulls. Wherever you go in England, there's pit bulls. People walking up and down the street with pit bull terriers. You know, they're crossing them with Neapolitan Mastiffs, they're crossing them with bull Mastiffs. You know, so now you've got two dogs what's absolutely deranged. And they just don't belong in society, according to society. Right, now, don't get me wrong, pit bull terriers, absolutely lovely dogs. Some have an absolutely beautiful temperament, then some just have and that's it, they're gone. Right, they just kill. And I can actually remember years and years and years ago, I knew quite a few guys actually. Even though I kept myself to myself, I still actually knew quite a few people and guys, and they were getting pit bull terriers. New thing, you know, everyone went out and they bought Alsatian. Then the Rottweiler came along, then they bought a Rottweiler. Then after the Rottweiler, they forgot the name of the dog, but you know, you've got me drift. I'm trying to think of the name of this dog. Rottweiler, Doberman. So it went Alsatian, Rottweiler, Doberman, you know, and then it just carried on pit bull. So now everybody wants a pit bull because it's this ferocious little dog, not so little, right? And I can remember quite a few guys actually getting pit bulls, right? And I can remember them little pups and the really nice little cuties. The little pup, and they'd been made nasty with these guys. You nearly took your hand off. Talking about a little puppy, and I used to think, wow, that's absolutely crazy. When that dog gets a little bit bigger and he weighs about 70 pounds, that dog will absolutely rip a kid apart, right, rip a man apart. But these guys thought it were funny to have all these pit bulls what were nasty and vicious. Now, I actually do know in England, a lot of you guys look at bulls, they're very good temperament and they won't harm a fly. And then there's a lot of pit bulls, they're just crazy. It's the strain, it's not how they're brought up, it's not how they're brought up, it's the strain, right? You have one with the fighting and it's a killer instinct, that strain, you know, and you breed that one with that one, and then you've just got dogs what'll kill, right? Kill other dogs, and even kill their owners, kill children. You know, it's going off every day. It goes off in England, goes off in large bulls, big, you know, big on bulldogs, extra large bulldogs. People have got dogs what they're scared of. Like I said, I will keep repeating this, but I'm going to repeat it. I know a lot of you guys that look after your dogs, right? And I know a lot of you guys have got bulldogs. Bull Terriers, you know, Jack Russells, Pogles, whatever the dog is, right, and it's well looked after. But, you know, there is a big difference. A pit bull can absolutely rip a man apart. An XL, which is banned in England. A bulldog, an extra large bulldog, is a banned dog in England, right? Pit bull, banned dog in England, but they're there, okay. And you'll fight a poodle off, you know, if a poodle attacks you, you might just be able to batter the poodle off, and you might be able to run away and escape, okay, or shut a door and you're safe. So what happens if your XL, your extra large, your giant bulldog attacks you? What will you do? So what will you do? What will you do, guys? If it attacks you, it attacks your kids, it attacks your wife, you know, it's going to absolutely rip you apart, it's going to maul you. You've had it because you won't beat it off. And I had a bull mastiff, he was saying, you know, he bit me there. I would not be able to beat a bull mastiff off, okay. It's just not going to happen. If that bull mastiff goes on one, and yeah, it's that killer strain, like my dog was, and he was brought up from this big, and he was brought up as a pet. He was soft as a brush, so to speak. But like I said, you drop a pin and he would go mental, he'd go mad to get to that noise, he'd go straight through a window, he'd go straight through an house door to get to that noise. Just a killer strain. But you don't know this when you buy your dog. You buy your little cute, extra large bulldog, XL bulldog. Oh, it's a lovely, he's absolutely lovely. His mama, his papa, mum and dad, lovely dogs. Pedigrees all rest on it. You know, you're thinking you've got a nice lovely dog. Now that dog gets bigger, he is actually a bull breed. So he's a bull breed. Takes a lot of wrangling. He wants to be the boss. And every so often he's going to show you he's the boss. Yeah, and I know a few guys will probably go, oh, you don't know how to train dogs, you don't know this, you don't know that. Right, I actually do think it's you what don't know what you're actually talking about. These dogs are very, very dangerous. Like I said, you know, American pit bulls, unpredictable. American bulldogs, extra large, very unpredictable. Bull mastiffs, unpredictable. I've had two. Right, brought up from little puppies, loved, you know, a lot of attention given to the dogs, but they're a bull breed. They want to be the boss, right? And they'll show you who the boss is, right? And you've got to gaffer them and all the rest on it. Well, you'll gaffer them when one turns round on you and gives it one of them, and then it pulls you to the floor, and then we'll see what gaffer is. You know, we'll see what gaffer is. And I've chatted to guys many years ago what used to fight pit bulls. Everybody will get when I were a kid, when I were younger, everyone were buying pit bull terriers to fight, right? And they were getting the jaws tore off and all rest on it. You know, it was just all about whose pit bull won, and it were about the money, right? And it got crazy in England, pit bulls. You know, I knew some guys who had 26 pit bulls. Look, they're beautiful dogs, soft temperament, or have they? And a lot of the guys said, you should not have a pit bull terrier around kids. Never. I said, really? He said, yeah. Never ever have pit bull terriers around kids, right? But, you know, I know quite a few guys that had pit bull terriers a long time ago. Bull breeds, guys. We're on about bull breeds, right? Pit bull terriers, right? Don't have them round kids, but a lot of guys have got them round kids and they seem to be okay as far as I know. Now, extra large bulldogs. Now, I have actually met a few extra large bulldogs, illegal, banned in England. Philippines, quite a lot of guys have got bulldogs, you know, they're looked after, they're in a cage, they're behind a wall, right, they're in a steel cage. So the people here who I know in the Philippines what's got extra large bulldogs, right, they're well looked after, and they're for protection here in the Philippines. They're behind a wall, and when I say they're in a steel cage, I mean they're in a steel cage, right? Whether that's by law, I don't know, or whether that's the subdivision rules, right? Very well looked after here in the Philippines. Not all dogs are well looked after here in the Philippines. Depends on the people that's got the dogs. Back to England. So this dog's actually banned, and you know, it's crazy really in England. You know, there's fools. Yeah, that's what I said, fools. Guys, a lot of you guys, you're looking after your dogs. You know, you're making sure your dogs are not getting out of your property and attacking other people and attacking other dogs. But what if one does manage to get out and then it attacks somebody, or it kills somebody, or it kills a kid? You have to live with that, right? And your dog's illegal anyway, you shouldn't have that dog. I'm not chatting pit bulls now, I'm chatting about XL, extra large American bulldogs. Met one, right, I'll tell you about this one I met. Right, I know somebody what actually went and bought, so she went out, she bought an extra large American bulldog, and it grew up very, very big. But the person that had the dog, you know, they didn't treat the dog very good. So the dog had psychological problems because it was ill-treated. You know, the owner was nasty with the dog from it being a little pup. It was thrown under the stairs, it was left in the dark, you know, it got beat. So it had psychological problems, this American XL bulldog, the one I'm chatting about. And it was very unpredictable, and it turned out it just grew and grew and grew and grew. It ended up being a big dog, and it ended up owner was actually scared of the dog, right? Because the dog was timid, then it was nasty. You know, it had a lot of problems, this dog, but the owner could not handle the dog, right? Didn't know what was wrong with the dog. I could see the dog had got psychological problems, but the owner didn't know, and the owner could not handle the XL American Bulldog. She couldn't handle this American Bulldog, and it was a big American Bulldog. She couldn't handle it, she was scared of it. You know, she didn't know what to do with it. But if you tried to give her any advice, you know, you could not give her any advice because she knew it all. But she was absolutely scared to death of the dog. And there'd always be some type of excuse, right? And like I said, you know, this extra large, illegal American Bulldog, right? You know, it was so unpredictable. 1 minute it were okay, then the next minute you think, wow, that dog's absolutely... And same with Mastiffs. You know, Mastiffs, English Mastiffs, Bull Mastiffs, whether you breed them or not, they can be very funny and they can be unpredictable. And some of them, you know, some of them you can let them off, they'll walk down the street, they won't hurt to fly. But some of them can be very unpredictable. You've got to think they're very big, very powerful dogs, right? Very big, powerful dogs. And they can easily kill a man if they set about to. Now, when my dog actually bit me, it was not an English, it was a bull mastiff. So I were a bull mastiff, and I were actually telling him what to do. I just moved into this house, and as I remember, my girlfriend and my daughter, not my girlfriend, my daughter and my son, my girlfriend and my daughter, as I remember, right, they were in the room, and I were actually cleaning the house. I just moved into the house that morning, and I swept the kitchen, and I were mopping the kitchen floor. So I'm mopping the kitchen floor, and I tell the dog to move. Now, it's a bull breed, he didn't want to move. So I kept telling him move, and he wouldn't move, so I grabbed hold on him, and I was pulling him, moving him, and I was pushing him out of the way, and that was it. Ugh! And it got me in arm, and my arm just went, it was big. My arm was absolutely massive. It was no joke, because you know, if he'd have actually grabbed my arm and he'd have bit, bone had just gone, and if he'd have decided to go at me, he'd have probably killed me. I'd have probably bled to death, you know. There's no way I could have actually beat him off. Yeah, maybe I could, or maybe he might have realised after half killing me, I'll stop now. I don't know, you know. So it were a case of I dropped mop, and I got my arm, and I run into the room, and I shut the door. And then I waited about 20 minutes, I got my girlfriend there, and my daughter there, and I don't think my son was born actually. I'm sure my son wasn't born, right. Anyway, so what I did, I thought, right, you're going, bang, I thought you're going, right, so I opened the door and I saw him in there, and I just walked straight in. I was holding this arm up like this, so I got this arm where he'd bit it, and I went, got his lead. As soon as he saw his lead, started waggling his tail. So I put his lead on, and I were really, now I'm actually really wary of the dog. Don't trust the dog. This is my dog. I brought him up since he was this big, bull mastiff, you know, and he wouldn't do out, my dog wouldn't do out like that, but he did, right, unpredictable, right, and I put his lead on, and I put him back at van, and I went, and I got shut to the dog, simple as that, right. But what I did is, I took him to be put down, and I said, you know, I must have, can I have him put down? They wouldn't put the dog down, so I thought, right, the dog down, you know, this was the vet. I put the dog down myself, so I got rid of the dog, 4-year-old, 3.5, 4 years old. But he was a real big handful, because your son, your baby, daughter, you know, your mama, your papa, your mum, your dad, you know, that you know, the lady's okay, and I hope your shoulder's okay. I don't like to mention names, even though it's okay to mention your first name, right? But you know, I hope you know, guys, you're walking your down the road, right? So you're walking your pet dog down the road, right? And then a big monster dog, and your pet dog, and then it would you with your pet dog, how would you get that dog off? Answer. Would you get that dog off with this? Bang, bang, bang? I don't think so. Would you give? How would you get a Barking extra large bulldog off your? How would you do that? Make a comment, because I'm quite sure you might be able to, but I've actually thought about this a lot of times, because I've actually been attacked twice, more than twice. I've bit bad, so I've had 2 bad bites off the dogs, but I've been attacked more than 3 times. And watch the video, right? And that were really bad, because it just went boom, and I had to go and have a booster, a tetanus. Not very good, right? I had to go to the hospital and have a booster and a tetanus. And like I said, wow, it wasn't really Right. Anybody that's been attacked by dogs, not much fun, not much fun. Now then you start to think that's never going to happen to me again. What will I do? Oh, what can you carry in England? What can you carry in England so you're safe? Because guys, right, you might have an American Bulldog XL. It's illegal in England. Could be soft as a brush, could be. Then you might have a guy 3 houses down, he's got one, it's a complete nutter. The guy's made it that way, or it's just that way because it's got that strain. It's not how they're brought up. So, how will you fight that dog off? I'd be interested to know. I've got to figure is because when I fight, I need to be able to fight a pit bull off. How would I do that? And I have actually. Is that music you're playing? Turn it off. If you're playing music, copyrights, turn it off. Right, so, I've got a few theories. I'll not tell you the theories. I've never put them into practice, but, I've got, I don't even carry what I don't even carry what I did carry just in case I got attacked by dogs, and it's not really a deadly weapon, it's not a knife, it's not a gun, it's just something very, very simple, it's not illegal, so it's up to you guys. So that's my little chat about dangerous dogs in England, and it stems back from many, many years ago. Van dog, but they're here, aren't they? They're back in England, aren't they? Now you've got these American XL, no one's doing anything about it. There's boys, men, well, they're supposed to be men. There's men walking around with vicious pit bulls, walking around the streets of Barnsley, Sheffield, and the dogs are trained to be a weapon. So you've got guys that are training dogs to be a weapon now. And then you've got guys that are training the dogs to be a weapon that can't handle the dog. There's a big difference, right? Just a big difference, That's England with dogs. Right, so I think that's my little chat about dogs. Walking down the street in England, a big American XL, extra large, big giant American Bulldog attacks you, kills your dog, then it sets on you. What will you do? Right, that's the topic. Doesn't look like we've got any comments tonight. Looks like Free's joining us. Don't know how many's joining us. Sorry if I've lost connection, guys. I'll get back to that topic actually. If you are actually coming to the Philippines, is it worth retiring here in the Philippines? Yes, it's worth. If you're single, right, even if you're single, we'll do a single guy. If you're a single guy and you can come to the Philippines and you can find your way around and you don't really need anyone to hold your hand, you'll be fine here, okay. But pick a good island. Now if you've got a girlfriend here, you've got a wife here, you'll know all about this. If you've got a girlfriend here, you come and you meet her, or you've already met your girlfriend, and you don't really like where you are, you've got the budget, move to a different island. Right? Or go around the islands, find a place you like, move. If you don't like it here, move to a different place. Simple as that. So yes, it's worth retiring here. If that's what you want, okay. Don't forget, you'll have to have some type of hobby, you'll have to have something, something to do while you're here in the Philippines. Unless you just like sitting watching TV, well that's fine. Right, so like I said, I were actually going to come on last night and do a live, but I can't remember why we didn't. It's been very, very hot here, and that could have been the reason. So, it's still very, very hot here, it's summer, and it's still crazy hot. Simple as that really, guys, very, very hot. So, like I said, There's no comments. So there's no comments. You know, the topic, I might have a topic, but any topic, or more or less any topic. You know, if there's any silliness, you're just gone, as simple as that, really. Right, so, you know, tomorrow, hopefully, we can get to Mercia. But we haven't been today. 2 days in the house, like I said earlier, driving me absolutely crazy. We don't have a budget, driving me crazy. You know, so now I told you guys, I've got the house up for sale. You know, and it's on Facebook. So hopefully, right, I sell the house, sell the motorbike, and then obviously sooner or later I've got to go back to England. And when I go back to England, whether I go to England, Scotland, Wales, wherever I go in England, if I go back to England, or I go abroad to work, I don't know. It's impossible to say at this moment, because I don't have a budget, right? I have to sell the house, I have to sell the motorbike, right? Then I'll have a budget. But the budget will only last so long, and I've got things I need to do with that budget. But you know, before I sell this house, it might be a month, 2 months, 4 months, 5 months, I don't know. So please help support. So if you can support, please help support. To the good-hearted ones amongst you, please send a little help support. Very much appreciated. Please become a channel member. Send super chat. Very much appreciated. Right, so guys, you know, I think tomorrow, like I said, hopefully I can upload 1 or 2 videos. So hopefully, if I can't, wow, it's going to be running. So it's going to be running into the weekend before I can actually manage to upload a video. But there's not a lot I can do about it. We don't have a connection here. We're on Peso Wi-Fi, right? So hard times here in the Philippines. So a lot of you guys, you know, you'll have a pension, you'll have a good budget, you'll have a big 4-wheel drive, you'll have a big house. But that's not actually the story here. You know, I like this house, I love this house, right? But I want to move on, but I do like this house. You know, I like the bike, you know, but it's time for me to move on. And I don't have a budget, don't have a pension, hence have to go back to England to work, right? Simple as that, really. Real life here in the Philippines. No TV, 2 years, no TV, you know, and basically just living like a poor Filipina. But most poor Filipinos have a TV, but we don't, right? That's just how it is at the moment. It's very, very hard, right? Simple as that. So hopefully I can upload some videos very, very soon. You know, and as you know, monetized, hopefully monetized. But monetization, you know, if you don't make $100 in your first month, it runs to the next month. If you don't make $100 in you know, your next month, it runs to the next month, the next month, the next month. So, you know, it's really hard. So it's very hard. I'm just listening to Overleen on the phone. So it's not much fun, you know, and you can get very bored here because you don't have a budget to ride out on the motorbike. You don't have a budget to go to a restaurant and spend 100 pesos or 200 pesos, you know, or just nip out and have a coffee, you know, 40 pesos, 50 pesos for 2 people. You know, we can't do that anymore. So, you know, the standard of living, it's not very good at all, and it's not much fun at all, you know. So, just not much fun. And it can actually kill you. So, you have to be quite a tough hombre. Believe me, it's not much fun, right? So, I hope a lot of you guys that do come out to the Philippines, now you're always going to get some big shot, some fool that's going to comment, well, this guy came out to the Philippines, he didn't even plan, he didn't even budget, he didn't do this. Just full talk. I'm sure you can hear that like me. So, this guy didn't do this, baloney. Go away, go away, go away. Before I actually came to the Philippines for about 3 years, I searched the Philippines. I searched all the different islands. I watched quite a few foreigners here in the Philippines, watched a few foreigners' channels, watched a few American foreigners, right? So I watched foreigners' channels here in the Philippines. Before I came, 3 years, 4 years before I even came here, 3, 4 years before I came here. And, if you think you can watch all these videos, yeah, you can learn a lot. But you need to ask, okay? If you don't ask, you won't learn. So just come here and learn, okay? And it might be an expensive learning curve. I did plan before I came here, right? I had X amount of money when I came here. I planned, right? And what I planned to do when I actually came to the Philippines, maybe get married, girlfriend, yeah, a girlfriend. If I don't get married, I've got a girlfriend, right? That's the easy part. Then, right, your money's not going to last forever, is it? You've got, say you come here with 10,000 English pounds, not a lot. It's a lot, it's a small fortune, it's not a lot, okay. So you come here with 10,000 English pounds, it's not really a lot to live here for 2 years, is it? A year, it's not a lot, guys. So I actually planned to come here and have a business. Now, before I even came to the Philippines, at least 3 or 4 years before, I thought, well, maybe I can open a water station. So you have to budget for the water station. Or maybe I can sell okay clothes. Not me personally, the girlfriend. And then, or maybe you can loan money. Now there's a lot of Indies here in the Philippines, and a lot of the Indie guys actually loan money to the Filipinos. And that's the way it is. So a lot of Indie guys are here, and that's what they do, they loan money. So I thought to myself, well, maybe I could loan a bit of money, or maybe I could, okay, water station, that type of thing. If you're buying vehicles to rent vehicles out, you need a good budget. So, when I actually got here, we did try a business, and the first business we tried was okay. And it was okay, but then it failed, right? It failed. Because you sell all the good clothes and you make a little profit, right? You don't make a big profit. You make a little profit, and then you come to the other clothes and it's very hard to sell them. Yeah, you can sell them, but it's difficult, right? So the okay failed, right? And then what were the other businesses? Let me just warn you, personal collection. So we started personal collection. So, but we started personal collection with money. We had the money to start, okay. I think we had 5,000 pesos to... How much?
Personal collection is free.
We didn't start with money?
No.
Oh, so we didn't start the personal collection with money, right? Now I'm going to tell you what's the danger with personal collection. So Jovelyn started personal collection, no money, right? So you get X amount of personal collection and you sell it, right? And then you pay the month after. And what happened was, we did that for a little while, right? And then the people who we sold the personal collection to, they didn't want the personal collection anymore. And what the person did is, they went and they started doing personal collection, right, like we started. So really, they didn't need us, so our personal collection went thump. Business number 2 just didn't work. What's really dangerous about personal collection, you know, you sell your items, your personal collection, right, and you're living off that money, guys, right? So you're living off the money. So now you owe money. Next month you owe money for your personal collection, and you need a little rice, you need a little food. So you spend the personal collection money on rice and food. So now you're in debt. You've got a debt, right? And you're 1,000, 2,000. You're 2,000 to personal collection because you've spent. It was okay at first, but you know, now you've spent the money on food, right? Because you think, well, I can't pay personal collection because I need food. So you go and you buy your food, and then you can't pay your personal collection. And then what's really bad about personal collection and what's dangerous about personal collection, my view, right, is it goes up. So if you don't pay the first month, right, it goes up and up and up. So your 2,000 pesos, you haven't got 2,000 pesos to pay, right? You haven't got the money. You've got 0. And then it's going up, 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 up. So now you're 3,000, it keeps going up and up and up. That's just ridiculous. How can people pay personal collection? You know, how can people pay the personal collection if it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up? Crazy. Personal collection. Be very, very wary of personal collection. It's free to start. You go and start it, you sell a little, then you pay next month. You've only got a limited time to pay, and if you don't pay it, now you're more. If you don't pay it, you're more, you're more. It's a trap. So for me, personal collection, you see guys, I normally pay everything. I don't have anything unless I can pay. But it might come to where, you know, your money's so low, you need food, you have to buy food, and you don't pay the personal collection. So it can be very dangerous. So, you know, that was another business failed, you know, and then the budget's so low anyway. My English budget's just so low anyway. You know, every 2 months you have to pay 60 English pounds for here. The second time I actually came here, it was the second time I came here. I was in Negros and I was flying back home. I was here in Negros 2 months. I was in a resort. Twin Rivers Resort. So I was in Twin Rivers Resort 2 months, 1,000 pesos a night. Crazy spending that money, to be honest. Anyway, I was there 2 months and I came home, right? But I went to renew my visa, right? Because I was here for 2 months. First month is free. Don't forget, your first month is 28 days. A month here in the Philippines is 28 days. Not 31 days, not 30 days. At the end of the month, 28 days. So what happened was, I gets to the airport in Bacolod, right? But I actually went into Bacolod, and I said, I've come to renew my visa. And I told the guy at the immigration when I was actually going home, right? And this was this was absolutely ridiculous. The guy knew this, right? And, you know, this is what happens here in the Philippines. You can call it what you want to call it, right? I call it a rip-off, right? And, you know, my 2-month budget was nearly gone, you know. I had so little money left, and I was going home, right? So I paid my visa on my second month. And I get to the airport in Bacolod, in Sipali. Was it Silay? Silay? Airport in back holidays at Scilly. Get to Scilly Airport, right? What happens? I goes there, gives him all my documents, and he looks. And I says, what's this? I said, what's this? Gives me a piece of paper. He went, you owe us, it was something like 4,000 pesos, right? It was something like 4,000 pesos. And that was the money I had left, just over 4,000 pesos. I says, 4,000, what's it for? He says, you're 3 days over, sir. Then he got stroppy. He says, you're 3 days over, sir. You need to pay this fine. I said, I've paid. I said, I've been to immigration. I said, this is my papers. I've been to immigration. I paid me last month. Immigration, you know. Yes, but you're 3 days over. I said, I've been to immigration, then I lost my temper. I've been to immigration, right, I paid my immigration, right, and I paid it for the last month. But the guy at the immigration only took the money for 28 days. I was there while the 31 January. I was there while January 31, and then I were off. And the guy did it for 28 days, knowing full well I was there for 31 days that month, right? And the guy in immigration knew this, right? He knew this. I said, I'm not paying it. And I says, I'm not paying it. He says, well, if you don't pay it, you won't go through. You can stay there. So I'll stop here. I'm not paying it. And then this lady came up, says, what's the problem, sir? I says, this guy here. Then I explained to the lady. I says, I went to immigration. I paid my immigration my last month. She says, yes, sir, but look, 28 days. I said, yeah, but I paid immigration up to me leaving. He didn't put the 31 days. He didn't charge me for the 31 days immigration in Bacolod City. And the guy knew for a fact, right, that them 3 days over, there's only 28 days, right? So remember, in the Philippines, 1 month is 28 days. Whether it's got 30 days or 31 days, remember that one. So I got to the airport, fine. Says, you have to pay it, sir, or he'll not let you through. Right, I need some water. So, you will have to pay it, sir, or he'll not let you through. Got my card, went over to the machine, stuck it in, I think it was 4,000 pesos. So that was way over anyway, right? A big fine. You know, I'd hate to think if you were here, you know, I'll chat about this in a minute. Let's have a look. I'll chat about this in a minute, right? So, you know, big fine, probably a corner rip-off, you know, shouldn't have been that much. And that were all the money. And then, not a lot I can do about the sore throat. Can't pause the video, can't pause the live. So, you know, I got to England, he let me through because I paid the money, and I think the money was 4,000 pesos, all the money I had. Plus, I think I had a tenner on me, English money, you know, so I still had a bit of English money left on me. And I went through, I got to England. I'll tell that story some other time, because I'm running quite over an hour now. But, you know, here's the thing, I was actually chatting to a black American guy, and I was chatting to this guy in the plaza here in Murcia, Negros Occidental, And he'd been here 10, 20 years, according to him. He'd been here 10 years. And, chatting to him, and what happened with him, what happened with this guy, this black American guy, seemed a nice enough guy, shook hands, hi, hello, he'd been here, and what happened was, according to him, this girl, Filipina girl, took him for all his money, took the house, took the money, and that were it. Now the guy is here in the Philippines, no money. Then he actually found a lady in America that was supporting him a little, and she was supporting him for quite a few years, right? She was sending him support. I don't know where from or how she was doing this. It wasn't a YouTube blogger, whether it was a friend or what, I don't know, a family friend, I don't know. So she was supporting him. Then she passed away. So then, that's it, is at the bottom. This guy's got no money whatsoever, according to him. And he was telling me the story, but now he seems to be okay, and he's met another girl. He's been here 20 years, went home. So he's been here 10 years, right? A little layoff. So he's been here 10 years officially. And being a foul, I said, what about your visa? How did you pay your visa? What did you do about your visa? He said, when I came to the Philippines, there was no visa. I said, so how are you paying your visa now? Because every 2 months you have to pay 60 English pounds or 80 English pounds. It depends. I pay my visa, right, and it's 60. You go 2 months later, it might be 70, 80, and it's up and down, I think. What's going off here? 1 minute it's 60, 1 minute it's 80, and it's up and down, and I don't know why. And anyway, so this black American guy, I said, well, what are you doing about your visa then? He says, I'm not paying it. He said, I've been here 10 years, so I haven't paid it. I says, well, what about going back home? He says, well, actually what I did, he says, I went to the British Embassy. No, sorry. He's an American, he went to the American Embassy. So I went to the American Embassy. I don't know if it was in Manila or it was here in Bacolod City, right? But this guy lived on the street and he was homeless for quite a little while. Not a little while, years by the sound of it, right? According to him. And what happened was, goes to the American consulate, I've got no money to get home, I can't pay my visa. And the American consulate said, okay, we'll pay your plane ticket home back to America, but you will have to pay the money back. Now, if they'd have said that to me, I'd have said, yeah, okay, that's fine, I'll pay it back, right? I would have said that, okay, it's fine. And I would have been going back to England, and I would have been going back to no job. So I would have probably been living on the streets of England. No joke, real life, can happen to anyone, right? Whether you're a big shot or not, can happen to anyone, believe me, right? So that's what happened to the guy. He went, no, he said, I'm not. He said, why should I pay it back? So he said to the American consulate, why should I pay you, right? I'm an American citizen, right? I've worked in America for many years, paid all my taxes, because he used to buy and sell cars. Like I said, he was a nice guy, seemed a nice guy, black American guy. Why should I pay you, right, my plane fare home back to America when I've worked all my life there, there in America? Why should I pay? Why should I pay it back? And that was the deal. The American consulate said, well, for you, to go back to America, you have to pay when you get back to America. You have to pay when you get a job the plane ticket. And he said no. And he walked out to the British consulate, And he lived on the streets here for many years by the sound of it. And he actually lived in the church, and he told me quite a big story, which we won't go into at this minute, right, this moment. But he had actually met another Filipina, and he had a big wedding planned. Now, he didn't have any money, so don't ask me where the money was coming from for the big wedding. Don't know, according to the guy. Now, I have actually met some foreigners here in the Philippines before, and one or two of them have turned out to be lies, a lot of lies, bullying themselves up and telling quite a lot of lies. And then I found out through Facebook, but the guy's a liar, and I thought, wow, that guy's married, he's a liar, and so on and so on. But, like I said, good guy coming to the Philippines, good foreigner coming to the Philippines, bad foreigner coming to the Philippines. Wherever you are in the world, you're going to get them okay. Right, guys, so I hope you're all fine and taking care. Lee, I hope you're having a great day there. Like I said, please help support, because I actually need support. Help support. Please like, please subscribe, please share the videos. I'm trying to actually chat and I can't chat because I'm just listening to Mills Jovelin's phone. I wish he'd turn it off, because it's very hard to chat and listen to Jovelin's phone. Right, so I'm going to end the broadcast in a moment. Right, like I said, like, subscribe, share the videos, send super chat, become a channel member. Right, thank you very much, guys. Like I said, I think we're on. I'll chat for a little longer actually. So that were really bad. I got back to England, right? And the first time I got back to England, I didn't catch a taxi from Manchester Airport. You know me, I thought, what I'm going to do, this were planned, even before I went back to England. I thought, well, when I come back from England, I looked at the cheapest way to get back. From Manchester Airport, I looked at the cheapest way to get back to Barnsley, right? And the cheapest way, I worked it out, was the train. And it ended up where it was quite a little bit cheaper. And I thought I'd do train, because I've never done train. I wish I'd have blogged it all, but I didn't. I weren't blogging at the time. I didn't have a YouTube channel at the time, right? So I got the train the first time, and the second time, right, I had a little bit of money. And I got in England into Manchester Airport, and I thought, wow, for me to get home, it costs about 30 English pounds. So it cost me about 30 English pounds, which is what? I think it were about 100 English pounds, about 4,000 pesos, about 5,000 pesos. But it was about 100 English pounds, as I remember, to catch a taxi from Manchester Airport to Barnsley. As I remember, I'm sure it were either 80 or 100 pounds to get back home. I thought, and I didn't have the money. And I got my ATM card, and I knew for a fact there weren't much money on that card, and stuck it in there in ATM in Manchester Airport. And it kept ejecting the card, and I kept punching in money what I needed, and I couldn't work it out. Yeah, I can be a bit stupid at times. And I said to a guy, there were a queue at the back of me, and I said, excuse me, I said, I don't know how to work this card, and I pushed it in, and the guy looked and went, oh, he says you've only got £5 in. I said, okay, thank you, sorry, I ordered queue. Pulled it out, and I thought, wow, I've got £5 English, and I couldn't draw it out. He wouldn't let me draw the money out of the ATM, and I'd got £10 English left, because I got this fine in the Philippines, right? So if you owe money and you think, right, I'll go to the airport, get on a plane, don't have to pay the money, they will get you at the airport. They'll get you at the airport, okay. Right, but that weren't my plan. I didn't know I owed money. I didn't know I owed these 3 days. So, bad guy there in Bacolod City at immigration, right? Because the guy knew for a fact. So that were it. We're in England now. I think I've got a tenner in my pocket. And I walked up and I says, I went to the train station. I says, hi, hello. I says, how much is the ticket for me to get back to Sheffield, right? And my plan was, right, I weren't going to pay the ticket. I thought what I'll do is I'll get on the plane, and when I get on the train, and when I see the conductor coming down the train, I keep moving down the train, right, and I go in toilets, and when he passes, him or she, I let him pass and I just go up the train and I'll pretend to be asleep, and that was the plan. And what I did was, I says, how much to Sheffield? Oh, there's a special offer. And it was something like £5. I got a tenner on me, something like £5. It was a special offer. Can't remember where it was, a promo. I says, really? I said, wow, it cost me a lot more than that. It's a promo, sir. You're lucky this morning. And then I told him, I said, I'm very lucky. And I told him about the, I'm not going to call it a scam, right, in the Philippines, right. And I told him, he said, well, you're lucky. And I got the train for £5 English, right. So I got 2 trains. One into Manchester, in Manchester straight to Sheffield. I had a £5 left when I got to Sheffield, and I think the bus fare was about £4.40. It was nearly a £5, the bus fare, it little under. So I caught the bus from Sheffield bus station, and it dropped me in Birdwell. So I got dropped in Birdwell, Barnsley, and then I had a 2-mile walk. And I walked 2 miles to my sister's, and that was the second time I got here in the Philippines. All my budget, it just went, right, I got a £5 left, and there were a promo on. I would have probably ended up walking back from Manchester Airport, right, not joking, or walking from Manchester Airport into a place in Manchester, and actually riding somebody's mountain bike back to Barnsley. That's the only way I could have got back to Barnsley, and I had £5 English. And that actually killed me, because I thought, wow, all the money's gone. I planned it, and I just had enough money. I had about 100 English pounds. Then I got this fine in the airport, and like I said, the guy actually, immigration, knew for a fact, I was going home in 2 months, because I told the guy, I said, yeah, here's my plane. I gave him all the details, gave him the plane ticket, the guy read the plane ticket, the date were on the plane ticket, the 31st, and that's when I was flying home, right. So the guy knew this, but the guy charged me, right, for a month, 28 days, knowing full well I was going to get a fine. So nasty immigration guy. Now, here's the thing. Lee's here, hi. Lee, I've been on about 1 hour and 20 minutes. I hope you're taking care and everything's doing well. So, that were it, immigration. And what I thought, right, say you've been here for a long time, now you've got no budget, you haven't paid your immigration, you will have to pay your immigration before you leave the country. No ifs, no buts, you'll have to pay it, right? Or you won't leave the country, right? And they don't care if you go and live on the street of Bacolod, right? They don't care, right? So how would you go on if you've not got the money to pay immigration money? But then you haven't got the money to pay the ticket to come home. So you've got a problem, haven't you? You're a foreigner here in the Philippines, wherever you're from, America, Australia, wherever you're from in the world. Right, you've got no money, you've got no plane ticket, and you actually owe money to immigration. So you owe 600 English pounds to immigration, or maybe a bit more, and then your plane ticket's another 500, 1200 English. What about this one? Now you fly back to England, you land in England, you've got no money. So the fool foreigner's got no money, right? If that's what you want to call him, it's entirely up to you, right? So the poor foreigner, or the foreigner what never planned it, according to some of you guys that did plan it very, very well, but it just didn't work out how he planned it, right? You know, as simple as that, really. So now the foreigner lands back on his home ground, he's in England. He's got no money, he's got no job, he's got nowhere to live.